record. Rawr. And where shall we begin? I think you guys are in a slum somewhere.
We're deep in the kill box, hiding from the betrayal.
Oh, yeah. Here it is. And here we are. This beautiful neighborhood is where you guys are hiding out.
Yep. And to finish off our long rest.
And yeah, I think I was... Did we already... I'm going to click rest on you guys to make sure you're rested because you found such a good spot. You are unaccosted all night. In the morning, you listen to, as you do every morning, you listen to Ulfred's war prayers and get all super blessed and pumped.
Ooh.
And Krokta... Oh, I need to make him a cockroach icon.
Alright, try send something in chat again, Alfred.
Oh, Discord chat?
Yeah. He said something earlier and it didn't read it to me. Yeah, I got a notification, but it didn't read it. Alright, now you're just spamming. Huh. I'll have to have Toby look at it after a while. It's kind of... Those settings are kind of screwy, so...
Mm-hmm.
We never remember to do all of our side chat over in there anyways. It always ends up in the in the actual game.
Yeah, usually it comes up in topic. Usually Toby references it at some point, so... Not a big deal.
Yeah, usually like, can you believe what they said about you, Josh? That was mean.
Yeah, Tokala's kind of mean sometimes. Works.
Okay, but none of you have been playing the Dark and Darker demo, but Dark and Darker is like Tarkov or PUBG, but everybody's D&D classes, fighter, wizard, rogue, etc. And as wizard, chain lightning is really hard to land without hitting your teammate. But it makes so much light and noise and sparkles and bullshit that the party's like, just do it. We don't care, even if you kill us. So we have had multiple battles where I chain lightninged, hit the bad guys, killed them, killed my party, and then I watched it like in a nanosecond arc back and kill me. I was like, this is the best implementation of this spell ever. It's so fun. We don't even care that we lose.
It's just pure chaos of it, huh?
It's great.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
They did a good job. All right. So what's the plan, team?
That's the thing. Like I said, I'm not sure.
So do we know how the factions of this town are broken up? Like, who might we be able to recruit? Who's definitely, no, don't mess with them or they'll kill you immediately? Do we know any of that?
Well, that was step 2 in the rough plan I had. Step 1 is finding
The safe house, yeah.
Base to operate out of, which I'm starting to think if this whole area is abandoned, depending on how big of an area it is, this might work as our at least our starting safe house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just even if it's nothing special, it's a place to come back to.
Mm-hmm.
You know. After that, my plan was to, very carefully have people go to different areas and talk to, that where they would at least not stand out and have a decent chance of talking to people and start gathering that kind of information. Who's the factions? Who's the players?
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be an Ocean's 11 kind of thing. So.
Yeah.
But now that I'm thinking about that over here, I'm really thinking I gotta check something.
I mean, here's the question: have you ever seen a barbarian try to talk to people and not piss somebody off?
All right, 1 second. I gotta go swap cars. I'll be right back.
Okay. Let's just plague bomb these fools.
Yeah, I'm still with Croctaw's idea.
There was a point in my Hell's Vengeance campaign, they're like in book 2 or 3, where they found one of those mushroom plagues. It's literally the Last of Us cordyceps. Like the mushrooms infect people and they become zombies and they infect more people. And they were supposed to subjugate and take control of this town, and they thought, why don't we just infect everyone in the town with the mushroom plague? And their Hell Knight leader had to explain to them that their job was to capture the town, not to burn it to the ground. That was very different.
I don't think we have any such mission here.
You have no such mission, and you have no such voice of reason in the party. You can do what you want. Any other ideas? Or are we waiting for Namkath?
Waiting for Namkath, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's not much to be done in town right now, I don't think. Personally, maybe retreat, come back.
What would we be retreating for? I mean, we're rested at this point.
I suppose we can keep walking around town. Oh, did we get a full rest?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
I think I clicked it on everybody.
Looks like it. Maybe we just need to spend the next few years, I'll go put in an application to join
Yeah.
the guards.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna do this the slow way,
Fight it from within.
That's right. Me and Luna will become part of the guards. Crocta's gonna join the eco-terrorists. We're all just gonna get jobs around town, and we're gonna slowly work our way into this society. No more than 10 years. We'll definitely have our
It's a 10-year plan, but it's surefire.
sure not to fail.
Fast forward 10 years. How many of you are still alive?
Can't kill a
Takala's
good
gonna.
dwarf.
That's fair. You're unkillable. Takala would blow it right away, though. He would definitely talk.
Yeah, something would piss him off, and he'd have to homicidal genocide somebody, some group.
The first time a Technic League person was like trying to order him around, and he'd be like, "All right, that's it."
You, go kill those orcs over there.
Yeah. Takala's oppositional defiance disorder. He would not make it past boot camp.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Having single car driveway and garage and 2 cars sucks.
Well, we've decided we have no good plans.
Other than releasing a pandemic and or a 10-year plan where you infiltrate all parts.
I think
Become
Namkath,
part
while
of
you were
society.
gone, you were nominated to go deep cover and infiltrate the Technic League, and the party will be back in 3 years to check on your progress.
You're gonna have to come back a little more often than that because that wand isn't gonna last 3 years.
We're saying we'll all just get jobs in town and just slowly work our way into the society.
Well, let's start with this. Let's investigate this immediate area. like, about a block or so. I mean, is this place abandoned? Is there an obvious reason why it's abandoned? Um, Again, we need a place to start working from. This might be that place, at least for now.
That might work, lad.
Okay.
So, I'll check the perimeter. You guys check in this area here. Look for, monster holes, anything that might have run people out of here, if it's just a rundown shithole, and I'll check around to see the other areas.
Do we need disguises while we're doing so, or are we okay?
Disguises might not be a bad idea after the ruckus of last night. But I don't. If this place is going to be like I hope it is, then we probably won't need it all the time. But we just got to kind of distance ourselves from what happened last night.
Okay. Alright, so Luna, you're okay. You kind of look normal for the area, right?
Yeah, so, throw her mask on, change her look.
So who might need one? Tokala, Alfred, definitely?
A disguise?
Yeah.
But I'm already a disguised. I'm disguised as a dwarf. There's a lot of dwarves around here, right?
I don't know.
Head right now.
It's more a matter of being a different dwarf for right now.
Luna can tell you that there are quite a few dwarves in the Grit Forge sector. They run some of the best armor and weapon craft shops in the city.
Alright, lads, here's what we do. Find me some ties for my beard and I'll make it look a little different. How's that?
I think that would work. You guys all look the same.
Wow.
It'll help some.
It's all in the beard.
All right. Like I said, let's just investigate this area real quick and see if we can actually start using it as a safe house.
Okay, so nobody wants a disguise?
Oh, I definitely won.
Oh yeah, I need one.
Okay.
Make me look like a different cat folk.
I mean, I said what I said, but I also wouldn't mind a disguise.
Okay. So you're going to spend how many of those? 1, 2, 3? Croctod's got her own disguise. Luna's got her own disguise. 4 if you want yourself, Josh.
Yeah. It's asking me to reload again. Damn, what the hell's going on? Can you click those for me? Sorry.
Oh, sure.
It's reloading.
Disguise other. Boom. Disguise other. Boom. Disguise self. Boom. Okay.
Alright, we got 12 minutes.
Where does everybody go? The perimeter of this neighborhood, it's very quickly apparent that the perimeter of this neighborhood is pretty lived in. You guys are, let's go back to the city map. You're here in this nasty little abandoned block right here. And which direction do you explore? It's okay if you all go different directions. We'll just do a quick look for each person.
I would be heading towards whichever direction looks most, might be most populated. I'm really only thinking about going out about a block or so. I don't want to go too far out, but me being the sneaky guy, going towards where the most people are makes the most sense.
Okay. Croctos says she's going to just turn into be a cockroach and fly over the neighborhoods towards the carnage from yesterday and see if anything interesting's happening there. She's going to keep her
That's a good
distance and
idea.
just look.
That's
Good
a good
idea.
Okay. Namkath, you're headed for a more populous area?
Yeah, that general direction.
Okay. If you head southeast or north, you're pretty sure you're going to walk into a busy street. You see carts going by, people talking. It's like 700 or 800 feet from this little dead block that you're living in.
I'll go southeast since Croctaw's going northish.
Perfect. Let's do this. The dead block is right here. Okay. Let's see. Pause and pause. Yeah, go ahead and move your token which direction you're exploring.
That general direction.
I'll
Okay.
move on. Yeah.
Somebody, I do recommend somebody, at least one person, stay in the block itself and investigate the block. Make sure there's not, like I said, not
I'll investigate. Rock.
giant rat's nest. That's why nobody wants to go here, kind of thing.
Okay. Nomcath, you enter and just meld into the flow of traffic on a busy street. It's still dusty, and you see a lot of humans, occasional half-orc, and roll me a perception check and a disguise check. And then
Okay.
if you have any applicable people skills.
I do. So we will start with perception. And you said disguise.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that
Got
was
19.
It is a
You
19
had
with a
plus 10.
bonus.
okay. Yep, you're right. Okay, that's good.
Pretty good.
And then, I was thinking more knowledge local
Sure.
for picking out. Okay, is this like gang signs? Is there obvious people patrolling, preventing people or discouraging people from coming to this area? And just other general observational skills rather than trying to interact with anybody.
You are cruising through the street, and there are some vendors here. There's some people talking, and you occasionally notice someone nods at you and says sort of hello in a really rough version of your catfolk nomadic tribes language, which is not uncommon. It's like
Yeah.
it's like someone saying bonjour. You get
Yeah.
it, and they're trying to be nice, so it's okay.
Yep.
And you get the sense that the kill box is sort of divided up amongst various gangs, and they each have a sort of neighborhood to themselves. You chit chat about that with folks for a bit, and they say, well, you're sort of on the edge right now between the Junkers and the V's. Like,
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about them?
well, the Junkers and the V's generally have a truce between them, lately especially. Ever since there was a big fight over on the just west of here with the Starfallen. And they say the Earth Daughters were involved in that too on the Starfallen side, and there was kind of like a big multi-block fight that caused a lot of carnage. But the Junkers usually work as... Sometimes they work as bodyguards. They work security at some of the local businesses. And I don't know. They're not as honorable as the V, but they're also not as uppity and self-righteous. They're a little more like regular folk. I don't know. They give you kind of a strange sense of the culture of these two things.
And so they're actually like kind of, when they're saying offering protection, they actually like really protect you, and not just protect you from themselves.
A little of column A, a little of column B. The V are very honorable, or they try to be. The Junkers are a little more mercenary, but I think they can sort of respect each other, or at least believe in each other's truces, so they have sort of a ceasefire between them.
What about over there? And he's pointing back in the general direction of the dead block. It seems pretty quiet over there. Is it like just like old folks sleeping all through the day or something?
That is the site of a huge... The city called it a riot. It was really just a gang dust-up from about 3 or 4 months ago.
They just ran everybody off, and nobody's wanting to gone back there. I don't blame them. You never know when the gangs might decide to come back and lay claim again, right?
Right. You pick up sort of a bit of talk about, so-and-so's nephew joined the V and got killed, and you just hear generally about a lot of violence, a little loss, a lot of chaos, and the sort of apathy of the east side of the city. They just let the gangs kill each other. A lot of people get caught in crossfire, and it's been this way for decades now.
That sucks, but it's better than being under the noses of those stuck-up wizards, right?
Like, yeah, but we might be seeing some of those wizards soon. A bunch of lawmen got killed near here. You hear kind of a couple different accounts of the shenanigans of yesterday or the day before yesterday.
Namka's just like shaking his head, his ears going down. I mean, what idiots would do that, right? It's just gonna bring trouble.
Basically, the rumor you hear about it is that the Earth and Daughter were involved, and the lawmen came to investigate because the Earth and Daughter are pretty much kill on sight to the cops, and a whole squad, like 6 or 7 cops, got killed.
Well, I'm definitely planning on staying away from that area, so hopefully it'll be a little bit quieter over on this side. Thanks. I gotta go catch up with my cousin. Thanks.
Okay. Where does Tokala go?
He is following his nose looking for food.
Oh, shit. Roll perception. And disguise with +10. Let's see.
That's with the +10, by the way.
Hell yeah.
And then perception. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Kicking ass as usual. No problems. Well,
Got a 5 and a 3 there, Josh.
he
Nice.
Yeah, a total of 14, a total of 12. You follow your nose to some very questionable street meat, which is definitely cooked in some manner of lard or fat, so it smells very much like that. You're unable to identify what the meat is, just that it's like a 5 or 6 inch long chunk of meat attached to a very thin, wafy kind of bone stuck on a stick.
This is exactly what I was looking for. Oh my gosh, this is so awesome.
Couple of silver pieces and it's yours.
Yeah, he buys enough for everybody.
Okay. You buy 6 meat sticks.
Oh,
As you're carrying your meat sticks and looking at them hungrily, someone walks by and is like, "You know that skunk rat, right?"
I love rat. It's one of my favorites, to be honest. I mean,
You know how to cook it right. It's great.
you just bone and all. You don't even have to peel them.
Well, the guy throws in, since you bought 6 whole kebabs from his street meat food cart, he throws in, he says, "Do you want the regular sauce, the orange sauce, or the lava volcano nuclear bomb sauce?"
You know, just to be safe, let me get a little bit of each.
Okay. He gives you these 3 little wooden cups with a lid, and you can see that there's sort of a carved shape in each one. You can tell which one's which, and you take off to enjoy your street meat.
Hell yeah, mission success.
That was quick and easy. Ulfred, which way do you go?
Well, everyone was going east, so I thought I might go west and maybe a little north.
Okay. You find that you think you're going into, first of all, you go past several signs of major battles. You feel almost like you're walking through Scrapwall when you first leave the dead block. You see blast marks, you see collapsed buildings, massive, like even some forbidden technology was used in this battle because you're sure you're seeing bullet holes. And you get past all that stuff and get into what almost looks like a semi-normal neighborhood. And you see a lot of like working people going back and forth. You think you're looking at artisans, and you can see a pillar of smoke rising from like a block away that you think is from a forge or something like that.
Ooh, a forge. Where there's fire, there's dwarves.
You go and check it out.
Yes.
You approach a shop that could literally be in scrap wall. The walls are covered in scrap leaning up against it. They have reinforced and replaced so many beams and structural points on it that it looks like a giant heap of junk. And you see a bunch of really soot-faced humans in absolute filthy conditions, and they are running a couple different forges and trying to melt down various different metals they've recovered into ingots.
Oh, this be a nice shop here, lads.
They greet you and they say, "Hello, Master Dwarf. You're far from your neighborhood, aren't you?"
I do be a bit of a traveler.
Say,
Just
are you in
checking.
the market for some materials today? Are you buying for Firebeard, or who are you buying for?
Fire in their beard. I suppose I'd be looking for myself.
Oh. Well, then take a look at what we found this week. And you see an assortment in front of you, he sets out this very wobbly sort of table, and then he puts a brick under one side to kind of stabilize it, and he sets out 5 different metal ingots in front of you. All of them kind of poorly formed. You know, these guys are sort of in a rush to crank out something sellable, and it's not up to your standards or Dinvaya's crafting standards, but you're seeing at the best they've got are some iron bricks. You see some tin. You see what you would call slag. They're calling it space metal. It is not. There is no molecules of space metal to it. But they're like, this is definitely this brown, black, and lumpy one here. That's definitely space metal. Sky
Seems
metal.
legit.
And their prices are very low because you suspect that the iron even has not been properly purified. But they probably sell to other shops in Killbox that don't care that much. They seem to make their own little variety of like forge tools and fireplace tools, things like that. Low quality stuff.
Pick up an iron ingot and say, "Oh, this is fine. These are fine ingots you have here, boyo."
Yep, they're nodding in agreement as if they already knew that. They're like, "Yeah, it is."
I'm trying to think of what I should ask them.
Do you want to chit chat with them about the shops in town? They know about
Yeah.
the shops across the road, even though they don't go that way and can't afford anything.
Yeah, I'll talk. Ask about the shops and maybe local gangs as well. Like anything to look out for in this area, in our area.
I'm like, well, this used to be gang territory, but I guess they all got pushed back. There was some big fight, and they've all went back to their corners, so to speak. But the V's were in it, the Junkers are in it, the Starfallen are in it. Those are just the nastiest gangs in Killbox. The real nasty gang isn't even a gang so much. It's just they're like a mercenary company that works for the Black Sovereign or the Technic League or whoever wants them to. But they're really just a glorified gang. They live across. They're the only gang that has turf across the Street of Lights.
What about the other stores and
Well,
merchants?
they say the nicest shop in the city has got to be Firebeard Metals. And the other guy says, no, 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 Montaigne's way better. And another guy says, you're both wrong. It's Comet Hammer. Anyway, they argue back and forth about these shops that are over in the Grit Forge or Sovereign's Watch sector, you know, the richer, safer, quieter part of the city. But apparently Firebeards is run by a bunch of dwarves. That's where they thought you were from. They thought, man, Firebeards must be hard up for iron if you're coming all the way into Killbox to buy. But Firebeard makes, you know, dwarven crafts. That is their thing. Armor, weapons, tools. They even do stonemasonry. And then there's Comet Hammer, which is just weird barbarian weapons, stuff that'll probably explode in your face when you go to use it. And then Montaigne's is only for the rich assholes. Like, it's half the price you pay is just because you got it at Montaigne's. It's probably not even that good.
All the weapons shoot exploding swords.
Yeah, something like that. Like, yeah, I mean, all the best weapon shops are across the Street of Lights, but, you know, we do have, at least we have the best drugs down here, and they kind of slap each other on the back and go,
And what about the guard? Do they come in this area much?
The guards don't come this far into the kill box unless they got a reason, and then they come in force. 6 to 10 of them, ready to fight. They, they don't patrol around here, so to speak.
What about the lassies with the paintings on their face that look after the tree?
They actually look uncomfortable and look at each other, and they're like, oh, those fucking crazy bitches. You run if you see one of those. Crazy as shit. They'll kill you for just looking. Dangerous.
Do they come here much?
No, thank God. They don't like the smoke and the filth and stuff, and they just go wherever there's trees, you might see one. That's why I stay away from the trees. They're cursed with those killers.
Well, that'd be a blessing then, boyo. Well, thank you. I thank you for this, and I pay him what he does and give him a little extra because, you know, this is fine. This is some fine quality ingots.
There you go. You have
Even though he's basically Nasiring me.
Yeah. It's you pay a gold piece for a, you know, half gold piece worth of iron.
Yeah.
Okay. You come back, and Luna, you were going to check the neighborhood right around the dead block, or the dead block itself.
I'm going to check out the dead block itself.
Do you have the survival skill? Do you take that?
Yes, I do.
Roll it, please.
Do you have survival? Roll it.
Yeah.
Not amazing, but it's there.
Quite good. You definitely find signs of a battle. Around about 2 to 3 months ago, several buildings were blown up from the inside. Some were pierced by high caliber weapons fire. Big guns. This must have been extremely loud. You see AoE spells. A lot of magic was used. You see places where bodies fell, big pools of blood. They're gone now. And it was a war. It was, 50 or 60 people on one side, similar numbers on the other, and big guns and spells. This whole block, it was sort of ground zero for it.
And that's me just searching the block.
Yeah, but nobody, the house that you guys slept outside, there's nobody that lives within, I would say, 5 or 6 houses of that. It really is a dead block.
Okay.
Which is what you guys were looking for. When Croctop was whipping across the city, she just looked for the most abandoned, lifeless part of the city, and she found it. And Luna, how aware is Luna of firearms and tech and stuff? Not at all, or?
Well,
lived in the city.
if she's been from, she's probably she knows about fire. Well, she would be aware of them, but
Okay. She knows about the gang / mercenary company that lives across the Street of Lights. They are called the Templar. They wear black armor with different white symbols on it of different deities they worship or whatever. They're kind of crazy. They're sort of half cult, half mercenary company, but they do work with the Technic League or sometimes for the Black Sovereign for weird jobs. And they like to use, because they are licensed through the Technic League to do so, they use these huge rifles that fire gigantic bullets and are very loud. And some of the giant holes you're seeing in the masonry and in the woodwork of these buildings, just shattered support beams and stuff, you're thinking very high caliber guns were used.
Big guns, got it.
Big guns. Olbrin, what
Eh?
do you think you'd like to investigate with your disguise time?
Let's see, where did everybody else go? Pretty much covered all the directions, right?
Well, you've got a wall to the southwest, but nobody went straight north, and you could also just go a different way. Krokta's flying overhead the block that you guys fucked up, but you could maybe go closer if you would feel safe going closer to this stuff if you are good at disguise and, say, bluff. And then, of course, you have greater invis as a fallback plan. So Olbrin probably feels, other than Namkath, Olbrin should be your most confident scout.
Well, can't navigate my sheet very well, but I think I have a decent bluff. Not
Yeah,
really
you have a
sure.
high charisma, so you're not terrible at any of it. Your bluff is
I don't-
12. Your disguise with the spell on is 17.
Okay.
So you can do it.
I will. I will just invis and go north on the ground towards where we were last night.
Okay. You turn invisible and go walking through the streets, talking to people, weaving between the different avenues, kind of getting a feel for the area. You get out of the dead block real quick and see people's homes. You see sort of group homes, small like apartment buildings. Nothing's bigger than 2 or 3 stories high. You do occasionally see a tree. You know what that means now. And as you are cruising out to the north and then weaving east along the streets, you see Tokala walking past you back towards the dead block with an armload of meat, smiling. You keep going, scout northward, and
I poke Tokala as I pass him.
oh, that could put your invis.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay. And you head north, and you can eavesdrop on some conversations if you wish, or you
Yeah.
can. Okay. Roll me a perception check.
Okay.
Okay. You hear a lot of talk about last night, about the attack, about how guards were killed, so now there's 10 times more guards over in that neighborhood, and don't go that way unless you want to get asked 100 questions and thrown in jail if you get any of them wrong. And they're just going door to door kicking asses today over what happened. So they say definitely don't go over there. And they want to blame the Earthen Daughter, but the conversation you overhear says that it was a house full of plants. It talks about doors being smashed and different types of weaponry being used against the guards, and generally the public whisper is that the Earthen Daughter were not acting alone, but who would be crazy enough to work with them? None of the other gangs would. So, it doesn't make any sense.
Do I get any sense that there's the turning wizards or just more guard force?
Well, there's a lot more guards in the area, and if any one of those guards says that magic or tech was used in the attack, you can bet the Technic League will send somebody.
Okay. All right.
Let's see, you have a 27, and then Namkath.
Mm-hmm.
What was your exploration plan?
We already did me.
We did you. So
Yep, I was first.
You were first. I'm just gonna do mini missions all night long. Krokta returns and says that the site of the battle by the Earthen Daughter home is a angry anthill of lawmen. There's at least 30 soldiers there checking every bit of the ground. Looks like a Technic League agent, although Croctaw hasn't really seen him. She describes what to her says an arcane caster with a pistol on his hip. So according to Croctaw, a coward for 2 reasons. And she says it's basically probably should avoid that area unless you want to run into even more guards.
Well,
And the Earthen Daughter have gone quiet and sort of avoided her sight and her speaking. She talked to a tree briefly, and the Earthen Daughter had come by and checked the tree, but not stayed long. And she didn't have any. The tree wouldn't tell her which way the Earthen Daughter went.
At least they're smart enough to realize they might have bit the wrong hand. Well, I mean, we got a little bit of information at least. These Junkers and the V's, they sound like they're people we could work with. Honor, they at least got an idea of honor and kind of working together sort of thing. Whether or not they'd be interested in working against the Technic League is another question entirely. We'd have to get more information on them.
Okay.
That's what I could spend the next day or so doing if that's what we wanted to do.
Okay.
That's
Oh.
reasonable.
By the way, the area where we're at is pretty safe. A big battle happened here a while ago.
Yeah, that's kind of what the information I was getting too. But it's good to know that there's not any dangers lurking here at the same time.
Well,
Thanks for
I
checking
do-
that out.
Well, I do know that the Templars, which are our missionary group from the other side of the Light District, that work with the Black Sovereign and whatnot. Well, they were here with some big guns.
Could you tell if it was them clearing out the local gangs or a three-way or?
It was just a big battle between two groups.
Okay.
There was some there was the magic used, there was big guns, that's what the Templars used.
So either the Templar came and was clearing out something, or they were on the side with one of the gangs, or we'll probably never know, but makes sense of why this place is being left alone if these Templars were here.
Are the Templars the mercenary group?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like a group we're going to want to avoid overall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say let's get the information on the Junkers and V's and see if we can form some kind of alliance with them. Although the scuttlebutt on the streets are that the Earthen Daughters may have done what happened last night, but they probably weren't working alone, is what people are discussing.
Yeah.
And they don't suspect the Junkers and the V's coordinating with the Daughters, so we got to be careful.
Yeah, very careful. So I know we can't rely on magical disguises all the time, so we're gonna have to do some regular disguises, and try not to look too out of place. Means probably gonna have to pick up some local clothes and some other things. I can work on taking care of that.
Okay.
Roundabout then, Tokala comes back with 6 kebabs.
I've got breakfast.
What the hell did you
what
find?
did you get?
Rat.
Ugh.
Skunk rat, I think.
Oh, worse.
They're sauces.
You can go ahead. I'll eat the dried trail rations.
Your loss.
Anybody want to try the skunk rat?
I mean, if I'm a
Yeah.
orc, I gotta side with my buddy here.
Am I there yet?
Yeah,
Or-
you can be back.
Ooh, did they get ketchup? They're a treat with ketchup.
I've got this sauce, and he offers up the spicy stuff.
Well, the dwarf would love that.
Ooh, let me
Then
try
I'll
that,
take the
boy.
spicy sauce and one of the kebabs.
Okay, if you're going spicy sauce, I need a fort save.
Awesome.
Ooh, that was close.
Actually, let's. Who else is having the spicy sauce?
I mean, I can't let the dwarf do it and then not.
All right, gotta be an orc. Oh,
By the way, there's my fort save.
Yeah, I see. Waiting for the others to roll in. Pretty good. Oh, Olbrin.
Hell yeah! You rolled a 1, my dude.
Can we say a
it's
Johnny
fire!
Cash,
It's fire! Damn it, it's fire!
Johnny
So
Cash
you guys-
moment here later?
You guys dip your skunk rat kebabs in the lava volcano nuclear bomb sauce, and you find that it tastes incredible, and you feel like a little lightheaded, like the colors in front of your face are sort of changing and swirling a little bit, and you start to feel it coming on a couple seconds after you've eaten your fourth or fifth bite of it because it's so good. And it's roundabout then that Ulfred's face turns very red, and tears start streaming out of his eyes and boogers out of his nose. And Luna and Tokala are chewing. Tokala's sort of sweating, and it's burning his mouth. You can see, and he just keeps taking more bites, going oh, and it's just burning him more and more. And Olbrin is like rifling through his bag, looking for his water, pouring water in his mouth, like Rhea frosting his own tongue. And he is you can't really tell if he's blushing because he's Dro, but he's definitely expunging everything from his sinuses. Eyes, nose, he's spitting. It was a bit much for his elven taste buds.
I'm not an orc, I take it back.
Ulfred's crying into his beer. It was delicious, but he paid for it.
It's gonna be even worse later.
Well, I think Ulfred's acid resistance will save him.
Nice.
Olbrin, on the other hand,
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. Olbrin got like one or two bites into it. Was like, wait a minute, something's happening to my head.
like I said, he's gonna have a Johnny Cash moment here in a couple of hours.
Probably so. The Ring of Fire.
And then Luna over here just chowing down on it.
Yeah. Luna's like, oh, you haven't had this stuff in months since you left Starfall. You didn't think they sold it this side of town, but it's even spicier in Killbox than it is when you get it in the Gritforge. Spicier and better. Somehow the street food is better over here. You didn't expect that.
The dirtier part of town always has the best street food.
Exactly. This is physics.
Yep. She makes a note, mental note, find out where this guy was so she can go there multiple times.
Okay. And the GM made a note to actually flesh out the food cart. So as you guys sit around eating, you basically put all of your scouts' notes together and come up with a much clearer picture of this side of town. Luna never really lived or spent much time in this side of town, so she wasn't sure about it, but she has heard of the Firebeard metals. They sell cool stuff. That's a great place to get a flaming weapon or upgrade your armor or blah, blah, blah. Common hammers, usually weird stuff that, you know, it's less desirable, but once in a while they could have something really cool. And there's a lot of good shops over on the Grit Forge. That's pretty much what that section of town is known for.
And Monahan's the place you go if you want your great shield monogrammed.
Oh, Montaigne?
Montaigne, sorry, yeah.
Luna can tell you that Montaigne's does sell really cool stuff. It's like a high-end magic shop. Like, it's a place you would get, like, a ring of protection +4 or something amazingly expensive.
That's what I was kind of joking about. You have to go get buy stuff and get just to get it monogrammed.
Oh, yeah. And everything there is a unique thing with a history that they probably made up, and they charge you an extra 20% for it.
Yeah. That sounds like a place to rob, but they probably have too much protection.
So what next? You guys burned a bunch of disguises, and you burned, you were only disguised for a few minutes, but you've burned only really half an hour of scouting. What's next?
Well, like I said, we can't rely on magical disguises, so I'm gonna have to start going out and getting some stuff to maybe not fully disguise us, but at least let us blend in more like locals. So
Okay.
some clothes, maybe a bit of hair dye for Olbrin, so he doesn't stand out quite as much.
Roll me your knowledge local, right? That's your people skill, right?
I mean, I have people skills on top of that, but for knowledge-wise, I do knowledge local is my best knowledge skill.
Okay.
Oh, I'll take that.
Wow. Nomcath goes out and visits a few shops more in, I'll move you up here, probably this northeastern area, getting a little closer to the Street of Lights. You pass through a couple general stores, and most of them are selling normal shit, tools, crappy versions of weapons, other equipment. And then you pass through a shop that in one of the display cases, amongst a row of tools, like 200 things in this display case, at the very bottom, you see a strange tool, and you're like, that is a thief tool. That is a lockpick tool. And you look at it and kind of look at the guy behind the counter. It's an old Kellid dude. And say, you got any more like this? And he says, I thought you noticed that. And he pulls you over to the side of his shop and opens like a little beaded doorway. It jingles as he opens it. And you step into a side room, and you are looking at where is it? I'll put this right here. The Starfall Undermarket. You are just dabbing a toe into the illegal side of town. In this shop, you see all the usual stuff: backpacks, outfits, more brown cloaks like the ones you saw before, or like very similar to the ones you guys had made. But you also see thieves' tools, locks, manacles, other implements such as that.
Good to know such a valuable market is in the area.
And he even shows you, he says, if you know anybody in need, he shows you a small horn of black powder, which is very illegal on this side of town.
If I'd come across here just a few weeks ago, I would have had a buyer for you, but unfortunately he went off on other business. But I'll definitely keep you in mind. And keep quiet about it, of course.
He says, well, be careful, my son. These are dangerous times.
Yeah, something about a bunch of guards getting killed last night?
He looks at you. Go ahead and roll me a bluff check.
Skills. Bluff. Oh, fuck! RNGesus giveth and taketh away.
You do. You very much do. Let's see.
I rolled a 20 before and a 1 that time.
Wow.
Ooh.
He looks at you and he says, I hope you didn't have anything to do with that, my son. They'll be cracking down hard on whoever did that. He said, but if you were the sort of person to get into scuffles with the town guard. You might want to make friends with the Mockery.
Mockery. Interesting name. I don't suppose you could give me a professional introduction.
He says, I cannot, but I think you might find one yourself if you stop by the Red Reaver sometime.
Sounds like a place to go swing by. Just tell me where they are, where that is, and I will see if it's on my list of things to do.
He says, well, the Reaver's over on just this side of the Street of Lights. It is a well-known bar where lots of different gangs and regular folk and even some people from the east side of the street come to have a beer.
No. And I'll slip him a couple of gold for the information.
Okay.
So, probably all in told is he's gone about an hour and then comes back with some clothes he bought, some clothes he stole,
Perfect.
bits and bobs and different things to try and, again, less disguise completely who we are and more just make us fit in better.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your disguise skill, Namkath, for how will you disguise the team.
I said I figure some hair dye for Ulbrin, so at least his hair doesn't stand out as much. I probably use a little bit on my fur to change the markings a little bit. However, why am I going over on that side? Skills. These guys don't have a whole lot in that skill.
Okay. You slightly de-foreignize them slightly. They look a little more like Starfall citizens.
We'll have to work on it, but it's a start. So, I might be able to get a toe in the local underground. I'm thinking about swinging by there, the place I was told this evening. No offense, but I think bringing the whole party would be a bad idea.
What? Why? I don't get your logic here.
Well, I mean, some of you stand out way too much, looking right at Ulbrin, even after the disguise. Other people are likely to start a brawl just because somebody looked at him funny, looking over at Tokala. I could bring you, Luna, for backup. You're local here, so you wouldn't, being at the Red Reaver probably wouldn't look too out of place for you, and I get the feeling you know how to at least keep your mouth shut and need to, right?
You talking to Luna?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't want to go completely alone just in case. I mean, the rest of you, I would say just start mingling with the locals. See what you can find. See if you can start getting some contacts with the Junkers and the Flying V.
Toby, would the spell chameleon skills help me at all?
Yeah, it would probably.
I am carrying it.
Yeah. It changes your skin color. You will still look a little elfy, but you could wear headgear to hide that, yeah. Take no penalty for using disguise to appear as a member of a different race as long as that race is the same. Yeah, so you basically give yourself like a human skin tone, hide the ears, wear a little more local friendly sort of outfit, and then you can disguise as a Starfall human.
Sweet, so I got that. I'm glad I just looked that up.
Good. Okay. You'll be using that. Luna's using Oath.
How long does that last, though?
It is.
It's a 0 level for me, and it's
Yeah.
10 minutes per level, so I
Oh.
can pretty much unlimited.
Every couple of hours, you go take a restroom break to refresh it.
Yeah, powder my nose.
All right, well that works. That's
Pretty much.
What is this picture you just put in Discord? It's the stupidest looking orc picture I've ever seen.
Yes, sir.
Tokala hearing he's just gonna start shit wherever he goes. Okay. So, what's whole party going? Split the party? Divide and conquer?
overall, I'm thinking divide and conquer. Because, like I said, bringing this whole party to the Red Reaver when I'm trying to worm my way into the Thieves Guild sounds like a really bad idea. So I was encouraged them to basically start mingling with the locals over on the east side here and see if they can get some contact with the Junkers or the V's, while Luna and I head to the Red Reaver in early evening.
What was the name of the people you were told to get in contact with?
The Mockery.
Mockery, okay.
Okay, so who's going? Who's staying? Luna's going. Nomcat's going.
Yep.
Anyone
I'm going with Olbrin. Where we going, bro?
Nomcath, you said do some scouting east side? See what we
Well,
find
yeah,
out?
just start mingling with the locals to try and start getting contacts with those two gang groups. It's not like we can walk right into the main parts of them and say, "Hey, we need to speak to your leader." Gotta work our way up a little bit.
Okay.
Let's just walk up and say, I too like crime.
I too enjoy killing guards.
Yes.
Hello, my friends.
How do you do, fellow criminals?
Well, fellow children. Okay.
Will Tokala stand out, or do I need to disguise him a little bit more again? Or are
If
we?
he's hidden his tech, he looks like a dirty orc barbarian. So
Yeah.
Okay.
he
And we've
wears
got-
a symbol of Gorum, which is a common religion in this city.
Okay. And
I
we've got
guess-
what you provided Nomcath too, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And we've got 2 bags of holding, so I'm assuming you guys have one with your tech stuff in it, and we've got the other one with whatever tech stuff we want to carry.
Okay. Wilfred, what are you doing, buddy?
Suppose I could go with you, boyos.
Alright.
Not much good if they're going to meet the sneaky folk.
You're your own brand of sneaky, but not this brand of sneaky, unfortunately.
I burp.
Okay.
See,
We're going-
never expected that.
So we can go mess with the Junkers there. I feel like Alfred would have it in with them. He likes junk, they like junk.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Team Red Reaver.
Mm-hmm.
You guys go to the Red Reaver that evening, and you
Correct.
are treated to quite a sight. I'm gonna just bring all the tokens here, so that you guys aren't staring at a black screen the whole time we do this.
What? I was staring at a black screen?
Shut up, Josh. You ain't staring at nothing.
Very true.
So the Red Reaver is another beige building from the outside, but you can hear the thumping of music on the inside. Clearly they have some license for limited use of tech here. They probably pay the Tech League a fortune for that, right? But you see lights, and you hear music that's definitely coming out of speakers. You guys know that because of your experience at Scrapwall with Miranda's ridiculous arena sound system. Sounds like a more subdued version of that. And outside, you can see 2 huge men, 6.5 foot tall, muscular, holding no weapons, but they are wearing armor that is clearly made out of various pieces of junk, and a lot of it is sharpened or spiked. It looks heavy, and they look absolutely frightening. Just on sight, you're like, this is the Junker Gang. And they are standing outside, left and right side of the entry doors to the Reaver, just looking at you.
I acknowledge them, but not in a subdued but not fearful way, but continue straight forward unless they try and stop me.
One of them stares straight ahead, and the other one kind of looks at Luna for a second and then stares straight ahead.
All right. Go in.
As you enter in, you can see primitive game machines, sort of simple slot machines. You can see a lot of people at a bar inside on your left. There's a lot of smoking going on in here. I actually blocked out the dust, but I should have let it flow. Alfred just wants to hear the music. Alfred, you go in the bar? You're not in the bar.
I'm not there. I just
It is
wanted to hear
only
the music.
Nomcath and Luna's here. Okay. You're breaking my immersion. No, it's fine. Look around all you want. And Nomcath, you are entering into this place. You don't recognize anybody, but Luna, as soon as you walk in and see this side room with a billiards table and a couple of huge dudes playing pool, you recognize some of the Black Sovereign's warriors. These guys to the left are definitely of the Black Sovereign tribe. They're some of his more trusted elite. Then you see some more normal townsfolk to the right at some of the tables. You see more junkers at the bar. And you see a pretty diverse clientele getting very, very hammered here.
Let's get us something to drink. It's been a long day, huh?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go right past these guys and basically hit the middle of the bar here.
You get over to the bar, you can see a grizzled old Kellid man as a bartender who looks you up and down and says, "What'll it be?" Standing off to the left of him is a human woman of Tian descent, and you can clearly see that she wears armor and has a partially reconstructed face and cybernetic eye.
I purposely stare at her for a few seconds too long, but in like shock. You know, eyes wide, ears kind of out. Like, that's tech. I don't understand tech. You know what I'm doing?
Yeah, she looks you kind of up and down quickly and then returns to sort of surveying the bar.
And, you know, after a few seconds, sorry. What's popular around here? We're kind of new in town. Well, I am. She's not. Sorry.
He rolls out a Star Brew, lays it in front of you, and says, "It's all we sell here. Hope you like it."
That works for me.
It is a dirty brown bottle with a sort of half worn off gold star etched onto it, and it is lukewarm, somewhat fizzy beer. It's a different kind of bad than the Brow Brew, but it's also a bad beer.
So I'll take a little bit too big of a swig of it and just kind of end up coughing. It's really good. Thank you. No, seriously, it's good. You know,
He kind of backs away and just lets you enjoy your beer. Or sputter at it at the counter.
Luna will drink it. Down it.
Yeah.
The woman walks over and stares straight at Nomcath for a minute, even turns her head so that you can see her cybernetic eye, and then looks up at Luna and says, "What brings you two in here? You're not from around here, are you?"
Looking at you, Luna, so I'll let you respond.
This one here, he points to the cat folk, is not from around here, but I've not from this side of town.
Oh yeah, you're from the other side?
In and out.
She says, "So I guess you'd know where East Street touches North Umpton, right?" You can roll knowledge local.
Oh, it's local. What is that?
Actually, you have survival. Go ahead and roll that.
Okay.
This is your ability to remember the east side of town. She's sort of testing it. Oh yeah, you joust back and forth with her 2 or 3 times about locations of this and where this street intersects that, and she says, "You are from east side. What the hell are you doing over here?"
My family's looking to maybe add this to the local their trade route, and I just came across her, and she offered to show me around, so I could kind of learn things. And he just kind of Namkath just kind of slouches into himself, like he's not like all of his confidence is gone as far as Luna is concerned, you know.
So your trade route, huh? What do you guys trade in? Maybe I can point you in the right direction.
You know, a little of this, a little of that. I'm a cat
Oh, that's
folk,
really
whatever we
vague.
can
Wow.
find. You know, sometimes we do some metal, sometimes we do some cloth, sometimes some spices, and in there in thieves' cant,
Yeah.
I'll slip in. I'm looking for connections.
She says, "Well, some of those trades can get you in a lot of trouble. Is that the sort of thing you're looking to avoid, or are you looking for trouble?"
Family is family's not one for looking for trouble, but you know, the only way you really make your name is to stir up a little trouble, right?
She looks at you pretty hard for a second, and then she takes out a sort of a bar napkin and a little piece of black charcoal, scribbles a strange mark on it with an M in the center, and she says, "I think you ought to set up your trade route over at Starfall Blades. They'll be open by noon tomorrow. They're lazy shits. They don't get there before then. But you stop by Starfall Blades tomorrow afternoon. Tell them Sauria sent you."
Much obliged for that. I really appreciate it. I get the feeling this is going to be a great place for me to start working through.
It might be. You never know. And she nods at Luna, backs away, walks over back into the back office of the bar and shuts the door. But she noticed when she walks through, it is actually an electric door.
So I basically killed some time here, about an hour or so, asking general questions of Luna about the area, just like a new person might do. And then after about an hour, we go ahead. Let's go over to that other place you were telling me about. There might be some other contacts there.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Thanks.
You guys take off then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me bop us back to the map.
And basically, as soon as they're out of sight, it's the full cat confidence back.
Hell yeah. Let's see.
And I just kind of wink at Luna. Always pays for them to underestimate you, right?
Yes, it does.
Starfall Blades, according to, you can ask anybody because it's a known business, is north of you. Many blocks. But it is up north of, in the north central kill box area.
Okay. Since I'm asking about that, I would also, just for purely my own protection, what gang should I be looking out for in that area?
That area is more merchants than gangs. You should just be looking out for your wallet. You spend yourself into the poorhouse. But it is in a sort of, oh God, I don't know what you call it, the medieval equivalent of a shopping center. It's a whole block of shops of a variety of types, and Starfall Blades is on kind of the east side of the block.
And none of the gangs claim it?
It is sort of neutral territory, and in fact, it's treated as such because nobody wants to fuck with some of these shops. Starfall Blades is actually a pretty fine shop, you'll hear people say, and it's near. They'll say things like, "Oh, I love Starfall Blades, and it's right next to my favorite butcher, and on the far side of that is my favorite herb shop, And I bought a horse from the stable master there. It's like the place to get good shit in Killbox.
The Mall of Numeria is here.
The Mall of Numeria.
It's the strip mall.
That's right. Everybody's favorite strippers work there.
Hell yeah.
Great place to go. Hell yeah.
All right. Well, looks like I've got tomorrow kind of penciled in for next step of this. See how good, see how lucky our companions are in finding some contacts.
All right.
Yes, that would be a good idea. Maybe they can not get into trouble.
Croctaw seeming subdued today. I think that means less chance for trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, Croktaw's resting and just cruising around the city, enjoying the extremely sparse plant life. Basically just flying around judging everyone today. Oh, what a terrible place.
It's a bug's life for her right now.
Yep.
Oh, Croctaw is apparently still wounded.
Is she? She'll take care of that. Okay. The other reconnaissance team was Ulfred, Tokala, and Ulprin. You guys were striking out east that evening. What were you looking for?
Just getting a feel for neighborhoods, what's around, shops, drug dealers, popo, the normal.
Get a feel for what kind of gang the other gang is. Are they the kind that are smooth, or are they like assholes who like fist fighting, that kind of thing?
Well, you cruise through the city for the evening. We'll make a quick pass of this. Let's do people skills. What people skills do you three want to employ? And it doesn't have to be the same one.
I'm only good at intimidation.
I don't know that I'm good at any people skills, am I, Tubby?
You're talented at them, but you don't buy any of them. So you
Yeah.
can roll diplomacy, bluff, or intimidate. You'd have a +7 to all of them. I'm just realizing, Namkath, that sorry I rolled back-to-back 20s on you.
Yep, which is fine.
It goes that way sometimes.
Yeah, but on top
Felt
of
like
that,
that red eye was just staring through your soul.
Yep. But on top of that, I wasn't being dishonest. I was being diverting. So her discovering that proves I've got some skill and I know what I'm doing.
Jacola probably pissed somebody off with her.
I mean, that's just his way. That is his number one people skill. It's
I'm a
intimidating.
people person.
Yeah. You are all about people and people skills. It just your method happens to be scaring the shit out of them. So, Olbrin, that's a total of 16 on your diplomacy. You gathering information. Tokala is sort of doing his way, but honestly, the very direct, like, where's the best place for this? Or where's that? Or blah, blah, blah. That very direct barbarian way is accepted in this city. It's totally fine. So Tokala walking around intimidating people about where the best tacos are is fine.
Who's got the best volcano nuclear bomb sauce?
Oh, well, it's that guy over, just east of the dead block. That he runs his cart up and down that street. You find him. Shit is hot, though. Watch out.
Where's the nearest bathroom?
Oh, this city, it's kind of everywhere. Yeah, you guys spend the evening out, and what sort of information are you looking for specifically? You said you wanted to know about the gangs. You come in contact, or at least distant contact, with a few of them. The Flying V's are honorable. They're not really hireable. They sort of protect their turf, and they're big into training. They're very big into their structure. They're almost like a little paramilitary organization. And they are almost like the Mighty Ducks. Yes, Alfred. Very similar. They typically carry heavier armor, like a breastplate. Sometimes they'll use shields. They're known to be pretty good with their comp bows, and then they like to fight with, when they're not using shields, they like to fight with pole arms in a formation. They're like a little military force. So
Are
there's
there
not
typically any race or?
almost everybody in Starfall is human, so the gangs represent that too.
Okay.
Flying V's almost all human, and they are not the most populous gang. The others have more, but they're very effective fighting, a very effective fighting force due to their tactics and discipline. Now the Junkers are kind of the opposite. A lot of brawling, lot of trouble, but generally good-natured citizens, if that makes sense. They pass for or a good citizen in Starfall. But they're definitely a little more lawless. They get thrown in jail sometimes, but they don't carry weapons. They don't really use tech, so they don't run afoul of the law or the Technic League. They just get in trouble for getting drunk and brawling too much.
So are most of these, are they, well, the right way to put it, is it about just having territory and keeping that territory for their own safety, or what's kind of their motivation?
They
Okay.
protect their territory. The Fallen are sort of their most recent enemies, but things have been quiet for months since whatever big battle happened.
Do we get any sense by dropping in on conversations of what that battle was and who was involved?
Most people heard it was a pretty pitched two-sided thing, and lots of people fighting in the streets from 3 or 4 different gangs. And then at one point it just turned. There started to be huge explosions of fire and loud booms, cracks, sound of guns, and it was over just moments after that. And there were just bodies in the street from the V's lost some people, Junkers lost people, and the Fallen lost people.
Who's the Fallen?
The Fallen are another gang from the Northwest Kill Box, and they are a little more tribal. They have they're known to have spellcasters. They're known to be good hunters. They actually go outside the walls and hunt game and bring it back in. There's not really anything to hunt in here, but sometimes they sell their services as trackers or wilderness guides.
Okay. So do we get the sense that this was going on between these 3 gangs and that technically came in and just shut it down, or still kind of unknown?
Somebody did. Somebody started throwing bigger weapons around, and that was the end of it. None of the gangs down here could really handle a stand-up fight with technically Black Sovereign soldiers. They're all really fighting for scraps. Killbox is the poor fighting the poor.
Gotcha. Okay.
And you guys
Anything-
find
Go
some
ahead.
more
Go ahead.
street meat. Find some more spicy street meat to have for dinner. And
Oh, yeah.
have generally a pretty tame evening out. Any other questions or avenues you want to pursue?
So Colin, Alfred?
No, I'm good.
Good.
Okay.
I think I'm alright.
Okay. You're back at going back to the dead block, I presume?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Party reconvenes later that evening at dead block.
Now, I may have found next way in, but it's going to be requiring me going to sounds like a weapons shop up in the northern part of the kill box tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, yeah? What for?
Well, I might be able to get introduced to the mockery, and if we can get some underground help, that's going to be a lot of interesting information. Might save me some running around.
Well, okay. It's a good idea. We kind of discovered that the battle that took place here was kind of maybe the Junkers, a gang called the Fallen, and the V's kind of all getting into it, and then it looks like the Templars came in and shut it down. And it sounds like the Fallen took the brunt of the damage.
Makes you wonder why the Templars would get involved in that.
Well, from what we gathered, like the Fallen have spellcasters, and they're a little bit more dangerous. The Junkers are just kind of drunks and brawlers. The V's are very. They're kind of. They carry weapons and stuff, but they kind of just mind their own business. I think a little bit more.
I mean, but still, why would the Templar, who are basically the tools of the Technic, get involved in gang war between 3 gangs out here in the kill box?
I don't know. Any ideas, Luna? You know better than I would.
Be a number of things.
Oh yeah, there you are.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Toby.
I was gonna say Luna remembers them being used for shock troops, for sort of kill missions that technically thought were beneath them but needed to be done, and were too delicate or too precise for the Black Sovereign's troops to handle.
Yeah, but
Exactly what she tells them.
But again, why would they technically care about a gang war down here in the kill box? That's what's makes me wonder. One thing I can think of, if these Fallen were heavy magic, maybe just thinning out potential resistance.
Rivals? Yeah.
Rivals, yeah. But that's the only thing I can think of. Might be interesting to try and make contacts with these Fallen. They would definitely have an axe to grind with the Technic League after that.
I would think so.
Do you guys want to see if you can dig them up tomorrow?
Maybe?
I don't want you guys just sitting around here waiting on me while I go check this thread out, but again, I don't really want to drag you guys all the way into it and scare potential contacts.
Well, you know us. We're great at people, using people. We're great with people. We know people.
I
All
am
of
good
them.
with the goddamn customer.
We should go all the way east. Let's go to the Sovereign's Watch. I want to get a glimpse of him.
Hell yeah.
Just from a distance. I won't attack him.
Ooh.
Let me give you greater invis, see if you can sneak in and assassinate him real fast, Tsukala?
I mean, not tonight. I'm a little tired, but tomorrow?
Expects the engineers personally.
It's going off the office space reference. Sorry.
Okay. So resting and then tomorrow. Yeah, Takala -1 bluff. That went great.
Yeah, that was me saying I won't attack him if I see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Of course, Takala, of course. So yeah, we rest for the rest of the day, and I think that I don't want to split the player doesn't want to split the party too much and end up feel like I'm dominating the game. So that's why I'm trying to give you guys an idea of, hey,
I'm not worried,
you guys can follow this thread while I'm doing this thread, you know.
Yeah.
I would say just do your thing, because if they go do a separate thing and you go do a separate thing, then we spend the whole evening with at least somebody sitting out. Whereas if you just go do your solo thing quicker, then there's
Okay.
less of that, you know? Does that make
All right,
sense
that's
to
fine.
everybody?
That makes
I'm
sense.
fine
Yeah.
with it. Doesn't bother me at all.
Let's be real. The rest of us are not information.
We're not.
gatherers.
Takala's just going to find more places to get Skunk Rat.
We're the nuclear warhead as soon as you figure out where to point us, okay?
All right. I'm just trying not to dominate the game, is all.
Not at all. No, you're good.
All right, so yeah,
There's going to be a little
my,
bit of that in this book. It's a lot of subterfuge.
yeah, and I'm the only subterfuge character left.
Use it.
Literally, yeah.
I mean, McGinnis could have pulled it off a little bit.
Well, I'm good at hiding, sneaking, and blowing things up, but not real good at working people. So
Yeah. All right. I'll bring Luna along again in case, because that's who she came, who I came with before, so keeps the story the same.
Okay.
And just in case a fight breaks out.
Yeah. Exactly.
hey, Tukali, got any cards?
God.
Here, I've got some dice. They may or not be loaded. I can't remember which pouch they were in.
Oh, well, we could do that. I don't have any cards, but I have this book. He brings out his book here.
Beowulf
Is it
book.
time to read
Yeah,
Beowulf
Beowulf.
to Olbrin?
He starts
Oh,
trying to
give me your
sound out-
orc history. Give me your orc history. This is how I'm gonna become an orc.
That's right. He's gonna start sounding out the words. When?
Oh boy.
It's better in the original orc.
The original orc, they didn't write it down because they couldn't.
Exactly. It's an oral tradition.
Oral tradition. That's right.
All right, just changing the name of this map to the Mall of Numeria. And the next day, you are headed to Starfall Blades.
Yep.
That's correct.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to pull everybody over here. And I'm going to put a box around these people so they don't cause me any troubles. I will make it an invisible box, though. There you go. Invisible box, people.
It's a dwarf in a box.
Put your dwarf in that box.
Step one.
Talk
Get
about
you
a
the
study.
box.
Cut a hole in the box. Cut a hole in the dwarf. No.
And then you launch the dwarf.
You come to a nicer part of Killbox, which isn't saying much, but the streets are actually somewhat cobbled, or they used to be. And there are a lot of shops here, a lot of people coming and going. And it's a little bit more like what you expect from a city, a little more civilized. And you see a door here with a sign above it with a 4-pointed blade, like a throwing kris. It says Starfall Blades.
All right. Get
As you
inside.
come in, you see a wide variety of weapons on the rack. On your left and right, you see shields, axes. You can buy arrows here. Let's see. This is the actual shop interface here. And you can see that they sell masterwork. They sell some exotic Tion weapons. And you see a smith back at the forge who leans around it and says,
Hello. Are you the head of the shop?
He says, "Oh, I'm just working in here today. You buying or need a repair?"
Right now, I'm just kind of scoping things out. You know, the catfolk caravans. We kind of move around and we do different things and do a bit of trading. And I was sent to the city to see if there'd be any good opportunities. And I met with, and of course, player's forgotten her name already because I didn't write it down.
Luna?
Oh no, Luna! That's it.
Well, Luna's name. I'm talking about the bartender. Oh,
That's
there it
you.
is.
Sorry, I'm not
Saoria.
helping.
Right,
Sorry.
Saoria? Okay. Well, I mean, I hired
He
Luna
kind
here
of
to help me
squints
out.
at you.
I hired Luna here to help me out, and then we met Saoria, and she recommended I come here. She even drew down these directions for me. And he kind of fumbles around for a bit, and then pulls out that drawing that she did of the symbol, and he puts it on the table only for a second, just long enough to be noticed. Oh, wait a second, that was the wrong thing, and then tucks it away. You know.
Okay. He looks at it, and it looks like he didn't. He sort of glanced at it, and then goes back to his work, and then stops, looks at you again, looks down at it, holds out his hand, asks you to asking you to hand it to him.
All right, I'll actually hand it directly to him then.
You see him kind of squint. He's sort of older. Looks like he's maybe in his 50s. Not to offend anyone in the Discord like myself and others. But his eyesight's not what it once was, and he squints at it, and then he looks kind of wide-eyed and surprised at you, crumples it up, and throws it in the fire. And he says, I'll be right back. He starts walking towards the door.
I kind of poke around. Oh, towards the front door?
Yeah, out the front door.
Okay, once he's gone, Nankath is like, okay. Stay casual, but kind of keep your guard up. He may be going to meet with wherever the rest of them are kind of staying.
It could be anything, really, but I'll keep my guard.
Yeah. I poke through his shop here just because I'm curious what's here.
Yep, you see, finely constructed. He even has a katana for sale. He has a sawtooth saber. He has a lot of exotic swords from other regions of the world. Fauchard, glaive. There is, well...
Does this look more like they were built here, or crafted here, or these that were traded for?
Both. There is you can tell what's crafted here. It has a certain style and aesthetic. It's a good grade of masterwork. It's a good quality steel. And then some of this stuff is weird, otherworldly. This, you see something that is literally marked, and it is written in common, but with one Androphin character. Do you read Androphin?
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
You see a Kasatha, the word for Kasath, the word for Krokta and the other ladies' people.
Interesting. Now, does this look like really old, or like this was dug up, or more like somebody crafted it in the style of?
You think it was crafted in the style of? You think it's a current, modern era creation?
Interesting.
And you hear a knock at the door outside.
Okay. I just kind of glance over at Luna, and I'll head to the door and open it slowly. Hello?
You see a human man with close cropped hair and sort of a strange marking in the side of his head, clean shaven, wearing sort of brown fur cloak, and underneath it some sort of armor and a sword on his hip. And he looks at you and he says, Saria said you would be coming by to buy some weaponry.
Yes, I'm looking for opportunities, both for my family and also, kind of maybe make a little bit of a name for myself, too.
He says, follow me, please. And he walks back this way to the left, past the shop of the blades, between the blades shop and the butcher, and turns a corner, and you see the blacksmith is there, and he nods at you all and opens the storeroom behind the butcher. The short-haired man walks in and says, come on in here. And he says, thank you, Fahad. And the blacksmith closes the door behind you, and he turns and opens a secret door in the back of this storeroom behind the butcher. And he says, follow me, please. And he walks through a series of tunnels here in the back. And you might need... Are you okay? You don't need light. You might need light, Nomkath. This one secret tunnel leads into another. And pretty soon you're in a back room full of scrolls and papers with shelves on either side holding hundreds of scrolls. You see maps of the city everywhere. And he says, almost there. Goes up to another wall, opens yet another secret door, and creeps through. And then you see a more normal hall with a locked door on the left side and a door on the right. And he says, here's our meeting hall. And he steps in and stands next to a huge table with a guild hall with 20 seats, maps on the wall, kegs of water, casks of water, and seals, wax seals with letters on one table, and sort of pictures and sketches of dozens of different people along the walls, usually stuck with pins in the wall, but occasionally with knives buried an inch or two deep in them. And he says, "Welcome to the mockery. I understand you trounced half a squad of city guards the other night."
Me and friends, as he drops the shyness and the low confidence.
He
It
says,
wasn't intentional. We were set up.
he says, "It wasn't intentional, but you, what brought you here?"
There's a group of people in this city that several of my current family have a strong dislike of. And a number of us have decided perhaps it's time somebody did something about them.
Luna, make me a, what's your best mental stat? Make me a charisma check.
All right.
You have Oath of Anonymity up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You think you recognize this man. He looks very different without long braided hair in warrior's braids and a long, thick black beard that was also in warrior braids. Whatever piercings he had have been removed. He looks like a very plain commoner from this side of town now. And he's not wearing such flashy gear anymore, but this man, you are certain you used to see him around the Palace of Fallen Stars. He used to be a close friend and advisor of the Black Sovereign, just like you, but you didn't know him. This guy was responsible for, he was, if there is such a thing, he was the intelligence officer of the Black Sovereign's barbarian armies. So you didn't know him well, you might never have been introduced, but you recognize, if nothing else, his eyes, the intensity of his eyes.
She gets that look of, like, I know you. I don't know where you're from, but yeah.
You seem to remember him being sometimes called Dralmok. And he looks at you without any sign of recognition from his part, but you do have a spell up obscuring your...
Yeah.
So, I can tell you've got a pretty good operation going on here, and I'll be forthright to tell you that I have no intention of disrupting anything you have going on here, though maybe we can help each other out in one way or another.
He says, "I'd hoped you came for more than just that. It's not normal for a bunch of out-of-towners to come in and tear up the guard."
Again, that wasn't my intention. I was hoping to be a little quieter than that until we better knew what was going on around here.
But you had no problem doing it, clearly.
No. My current family is quite skilled.
He says, "I see." He says, "Well, what can I do for you? He says, "I sense that you are of the thief or scout variety of professional, and I might be able to sell you some things or acquire you some things." You can see here in the mockery shop that he can get you potions of disguise, wands of disguise, non-detection, cure potions, even neutralize poison stuff. He sort of shows you a list of things he can acquire, and he can acquire them for pretty good prices.
I get a feeling that sort of stuff is things we're going to be wanting eventually. Right now, we're keeping it pretty low tech, so to speak. And he does specifically use the word tech, just to see if the reaction.
He says, "Well, tech is very illegal."
Mm-hmm. Of course, you wouldn't want to bring any in. You wouldn't want to bring any in here. It draws way too much attention. But other things that we're going to be wanting is information of both sides of the street, so to speak. And maybe once we've proven ourselves to each other, some help in getting things done. Again, if our interests fully align, we are willing to participate in events that you might have planned and help out with that. Help prove ourselves to each other.
All right. He says, well, I still don't quite understand why you've come to my city, but I do have some problems that I need worked on and would be willing to pay or trade to have some help with them.
Well,
But I'd
I
still
know
need to
I'm
know
being
why. He looks again at Luna, sort of blankly, back at you.
I am being intentionally vague because, well, we are strangers. I wouldn't expect you to spill all of your personal secrets to me on first meeting. But again, it's He kind of rubs his whiskers a little bit. There's elements of the current order that we don't like and we would enjoy seeing thrown down. Is that good
Elements,
enough for you?
he says. What a fun way to put it.
Again, I'm intentionally being vague.
He says, no, it is elements that are the problem. Our leader is a drug addict. He just sort of
See.
lets that
So
hang
is
in the
ours.
air.
Got him.
Fair, though. Got him. Got him. He says, well, I happen to know where some of the drugs that have plagued my people and my leadership in this city have come from.
Well, it's always good to know where the problems lie. I
Mhm.
assume the help you want with that is having those. Would you prefer the stashes eliminated, or more finding out where they're being manufactured and destroying that?
A little of both. The problem I'm going to tell you about affects all of this land, and the source is remarkably close to where you met my friend Sauria.
Mm-hmm.
Hidden underneath, almost underneath the river, is a drug lab where they manufacture drugs that are only sold one place. Over in the Palace of Stars, it is one of the primary drug pipelines for the Black Sovereign and his troops. Right here under our noses. Every few weeks, they come and make a big purchase, take gallons of this vile stuff, this filth, over there, and continue the gradual poisoning of my people.
I see. I definitely sympathize with the wanting to protect one's people and family.
Well, this drug weakens the mind, weakens the resistance, turns them docile, makes them easier to manipulate. So you can see why the Technic League keeps it in heavy supply amongst my people.
I fully understand. And if we were to remove that source, uh, how long do you think it would take for it to flush out of everyone's systems and maybe people start thinking right?
I don't understand the drug myself. I was always reluctant to take it. That's sort of why I'm here and not there. But I know it's potentially deadly, very dangerous, and causes severe addiction and withdrawal if not maintained.
So, if we do cut off the supply once whatever they have runs out, the user will effectively be incapacitated. Uh, Unfortunate, but at least that way I know what expectations to have for other plans. Is this the only lab that produces it that you know of?
This particular drug, the only one I know of. But if you would be so good as to destroy it, I will tell you everything I know about this city, which is a considerable amount.
I believe you on that. And trust me, my current family enjoys destroying things. He just gives them that slow cat smile.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, do we do bluff and sense motive checks? But he's actually telling the truth, and so are you.
Yep.
No need.
Yep. All right. Um, as a show of good faith, I'm sure you would provide all the information you could on this location, how to get into it if you know, known people in it, what the delivery schedule is, all the usual bits, I'm sure.
He says, I actually can't provide exact details, but I know they come at least once a week, and the entrance is hidden in the alley behind the Reaver.
You don't know how many people might be in this lab?
I know that the vile creator of this filth will be down there, who is a dangerous spellcaster and alchemist of his own bizarre type. And if you go while the Black Sovereign's men are picking it up, you would certainly have to contend with them too.
That wouldn't be wise. I would rather do it probably right after they pick up their supply. That way the people there would be in the least expecting of problems. When there's nothing there, any rival that might come and try and cut them out. Do you know
Well,
when the next pickup is planned?
I do not.
All right. We may have to take it slow then. Again, I would rather not have extra bodies show up in the middle of our operation.
He says, well, your body count's already pretty high. I would advise you to be a little more careful, a little more restrained with your weaponry.
Namkat's ears just splay and he sighs. It's, yes, I know. Trust me, I didn't want that fight to happen, but my family's enthusiastic when it comes to problems.
That could be good.
When properly applied, yes. That was not a proper application of enthusiasm the other night.
All right. He says, well, if you need anything from me, and he opens up his cloak, you see for a moment that he is wearing actually a variant of trooper armor. And on one hip, he has a very strangely high-tech or magic-looking pistol in a holster, a high-tech looking sword on the other hip, and in the center of his belt is what looks like a nanite hypogun. And he takes out of a pouch a comm set and says, do you have one of these?
I reach into my bag and pull out the comm set. What frequency are you on?
He matches your frequency to 99.9 classic rock FM, and he says, contact me when you need to come back here, or if you need anything else. As long as you're within a few miles, mine should pick it up.
I am quite familiar with how these work. Useful things.
Okay.
And he pushes it back down in the bag. And Namkat does specifically let his hand go too deep in the bag, so he can tell it's a bag of holding, and basically, he's purposely giving away little secrets, so that he knows we're familiar with tech, we're comfortable with tech, we're not coveting tech. I probably have more tech on me that I'm being careful to hide.
Yeah, you have a bunch of ranks of engineering at this point, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when he adjusts the frequency, if you don't play dumb, then you quickly match it, and he can see that you know what you're about.
Exactly.
It's not
I'm
Tokala
not
pressing
showing
all the buttons on the shotgun in mid-combat,
I'm not showing off Eldrin style, but I'm showing a casual familiarity and competence in the stuff.
Okay. Well,
By the way,
what's that, right?
I was going to say, Namkevik, we might as well also try and pick up a weapon for Tolka.
Well, no, true. A carrying around weapon would be something of use.
He says, "What does your friend favor?"
The great
Greatsword.
I see. He says, out there in Starfall Blades, there is a what's the Tian Sha called a Nodachi. Take that on the house.
Much appreciated. And he actually gives a little bow of respect for that. Again, this may take a couple of days because I want to take it a little slow, but
Weeb
we'll get
Sword
this done.
Inc. Thank you, Alfred. He shows you the way out, back into the back by the weapon shop, and you can buy a Nodachi and refund yourself the gold.
You're already dragging.
I
me
can
out
just
there.
slap it on. I can slap it on Tokala.
Just slap it on Tokala.
I will slap it on there. Okay, open the sheet. Give me this. Actually, he also has Masterwork Greatsword.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, Tokala gets all his feats with this thing. Let's give him the weird sword.
I mean, the only thing that's not technically disguised on Luna is her weapon.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't recognize that. But yeah, he did not. Your spell worked. He did not recognize you. You recognized him.
By the way, the man we were dealing with was originally the intelligence aspect of the barbarians. He was very good.
I figured he was high placed with the way he was talking, but it's good to know that I have an idea exactly what kind of person I'm dealing with. Can't be too eager appearing when dealing with that sort of person. But this will definitely be useful. Question is whether or not we lie to Tokala, because if we tell him if it's a drug, he's probably going to want to try it.
Well, if Takala wants to try the drug, let him. It's up to him, really.
But then, if it's highly addictive, with severe withdrawal symptoms that would incapacitate him, we'll just call it a poison. It's not exactly lying when it comes to drugs.
That's not saying he would want to try that too.
All right.
No, he's usually smart enough with the poisons. Usually.
The Mall of Numeria, marked on the map with Starfall Blades, and next to it is Starfall Scrolls is now available to you guys, and so is the Starfall Undermarket General, which is next to Star Juice. Being friends with Mockery enables you access to all these places. Let's see. Everybody know it. There we go. Let me toss that. Yeah, Star Juice is potions. Boop. There it is. And of course, the Mockery itself sells potions and scrolls.
That is literally a mall for us right now. Unfortunately, we spent all of our money.
Yep, I know. That's why I'm not afraid to put it out there, because I know you can't afford shit. Starfall Blades is really just masterwork, though. It's nothing that you guys really want.
I mean, technically, I can buy some things.
Yeah.
Although I noticed that Tokala, I just copied over all of your conditionals. This masterwork weapon, you can immediately be like Sacred Weapon, Bane, Vital Strike, and do fucking truckloads with it.
Hell yeah.
So that's kind of cool. Your war priest stuff just kicks in.
All
All
right,
right.
so we head back to the group.
There you go. Hashtag blessed.
Always.
So, this was very productive. Apparently, the mockery, according to Luna, is run by the former head of intelligence for the Black Sovereign. So, that's a pretty darn good find. Definitely some ins for some information once we, do a little work for him.
A little work.
Well, I know by now Takala's getting antsy and really wants to get his sword bloodied, so I figured he wouldn't mind.
Okay, what's the deal?
There is a poison that's being manufactured not too far from here, and it's being shipped over to the Black Sovereign, and it's making the Black Sovereign and a number of his soldiers sick and reducing their will and resistance, making them easier to be manipulated. So he asked that we take out that manufacturing.
Take it out, like, completely? What? And to capture people? What's he want?
He wants the production facilities destroyed. He wants the production stopped. I would not be surprised if we could successfully capture somebody who had good information. He might be interested in it, but I don't think it's a priority, and I don't think we should go out of our way. The main person in charge of it is a spellcaster and alchemist of power, and I get the feeling it's probably not a good idea to try and capture him. We'd be better off just taking him out. Too powerful, too risky to try and capture him and take him somewhere, you know?
Okay, any information about when they will be there, types of forces to be expected, that kind of thing?
Unfortunately not. But I can spend some time doing some scouting, trying to find out stuff. The majority that I know is at least once a week, the Black Sovereign's forces show up to pick up delivery. I would like to strike after they pick up a delivery. I know that means more of the poison being taken over to the Black Sovereign's forces, but at least then the people who are there will be less likely to expect trouble, and we're a lot less likely to have unexpected guests while we're doing our thing.
So wait for a shipment to go out and then hit it? Because you think it'll be less defended at that point?
Less defended, their thoughts and minds will be on ramping up the production to get the next shipment started, or even relaxing a little bit afterwards because they've met their quota, and they can take a while to relax, a little bit to relax before the next one. And again, least likely chance that the Black Sovereign's guards end up getting involved, and more bodies we have to kill.
Oh, so like the Sovereign's guards come pick up the shipment? That's how it
Yes.
gets okay.
Yes. I
Uh,
didn't make it clear.
No, that's okay. I'm just making sure I understand. And the alchemist wizard, he makes the substance?
He is in charge of the making of it. I didn't get specifics on how it's made, or if he makes it himself, or he just oversees what's being made. My impression is he might have been the one who developed it, or he might not have. He might have found it somewhere and he's just making it. He's definitely in league with the Technic League, so that
Okay.
in itself, it's a little small stab in the side of the Technic League.
Did you meet with anybody else, or this one guy that seems to be the leader, you think?
It was just him, but that's not surprising. There was probably others around who weren't making themselves known.
Smart.
But I didn't. I specifically did not try and look for them. I wanted to be as non-threatening as possible. I didn't tell him specifically what we're here for, but I hinted at it a little bit. You know how the game's played. You don't show all your cards up front.
How do you seem to receive it?
He is very interested in us taking care of this for him. And he said specifically, if we take care of this, he will tell us anything we want to know about the city.
Okay. Did he offer? So, say we do this, things go a little bit sideways. Can we count on him for sanctuary, or are we just still on our own?
I wasn't planning on going to him for sanctuary. If things go sideways, we got our own ways of getting out of here, and then we can
Okay.
come back. The worst way to mess up a potential ally is to bring trouble down on them. If we screw up and go our way, if we come back, at least then we will have the goodwill of not bringing it down on their operation.
Understandable. Okay, so you have the location, and we need to start scouting, you think?
I've got a rough idea. It's near the bar where Luna and I went the other night. It's underground. So we'll just have to stake out the area and take a look around.
I mean, we could always ask when the last shipment was.
Well, he didn't know, remember?
He might know, but the people around the area might know.
Ah, I see where you're going. That's definitely a possibility. Problem is, we got to be very careful about asking those sorts of questions, because if I was running an operation like that, I would be paying off some of the local beggars to keep an eye on the area and let us know if anybody is poking around too much.
Okay, so Operation Spy, you think you and Croctaw are the best candidates for that?
Right now, probably. Just to find out where it is and when the shipment is. I'm not going to go into it foolhardy, but I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it either. I want to get in there and I want to show them, I want to show the mockery that we are valuable allies, which means hitting hard, hitting fast, and accomplishing the goals, hopefully without a lot of mess.
I mean, Plan B can always be let's just send Tokala in like he's a tweaker looking for a fix.
No, it's not drugs. There are not drugs there. It's a poison.
Okay.
All right. So what's the next step of the plan?
Next step is we are going to stake out that area and try and find the entrance and try and see if we can see who might be coming and going and try and figure out when the last shipment was so that we can hopefully predict the next shipment go out and strike them after they go out.
Stake out at the Red Reaver? Are you talking to people, or what's the angle?
I would be talking to people.
Okay.
I would Oberyn at the very least. I would
Okay.
Oberyn and Luna I would have staked out in the area
Okay.
to just kind of keep a watch out for anything.
Yeah. Based on Discord, I would say that Tokala is over there whispering, 1, nothing wrong with me. 2,
2.
nothing wrong with me. When he gets to 4, he lets the bodies hit the floor,
Yep.
yes. Okay, so we want to set up at the Red Reaver, but you want to set up there for days or just hours or
It
visiting so
depends
many times a
on-
day? Okay.
It depends on how lucky we get in things. Again, Namcav is being super careful about this. This isn't our
Okay.
territory. We are strangers. We're going to stand out because we're not known. So I'd like to have a couple of people staked out in various areas just to kind of keep a
So
watch on
what's the
things.
area look like? Like, can we like hide on rooftops? We need street level. What are you thinking?
I mean, some rooftops wouldn't hurt because it always gives you a bird's eye view of things. But some street level, it's until I know more, we got to go general.
Okay. Well, I can get up to rooftops, levitate, and that kind of thing if that's helpful. You know, whatever you need.
That's what I was thinking. I think you could. You're fairly sneaky, and with that new skin changing thing you have, you don't stand out nearly as much as I was afraid of. So I was thinking you and Luna for the most of the closer stuff. The others just can kind of watch the general area. I mean, heck, even if all you do is go up the block and pay attention for when if a group of Black Sovereign's guards come in and then carry out a bunch of barrels or something, that's information. It's gonna be me and Procta trying to go in close to find that secret door.
Okay. Well, you're the sneaky man. You
Yep.
tell us the plan and how we can help.
I think that's about all we can do right now until I get more information. If we're lucky, we might be able to. It might be in a position where we can stake it out closer and get more information about people. But I'm not gonna try that until I know more about the location.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So let's have a general disguise check. This is going to be mundane disguise since you guys are talking about spending hours, maybe even days. Even 12 minutes of disguise will be like your emergency exit mechanism. Invisibility and disguise other spells will be how you get out of trouble. But in general, let's just have a disguise check for anyone who's going to be on Operation Red Reaver Stakeout.
Well,
Uh,
considering the fact that we're doing it's a long-term thing, could we do like a take 10 on it?
Yes, we can do take 10s.
Yeah.
Josh, I think that
I
just
don't
gives
know
you a
how to
flat
do that.
17. Yeah,
Okay.
because we suppress your pop-ups. You don't have the choice.
Okay.
But you have a +7 disguise. You have... we're going to take 10. So you have a base 17. Nomcath has a base 17. Luna has a 14, but Luna's going to use her spell to enhance that. Okay.
And I can like hang back and use message and can communicate to you, Namcath. If you find like a rooftop or something like that you think I need to be on, I can invis and levitate
Yeah.
up there.
Exactly. You've got a lot of versatile spells for doing this kind of scouting stuff.
Sure.
I don't want to burn it all too much. Just in
For
case
sure. I'm
something
just
goes
letting you
wrong.
know, yeah, what's available to you.
Yep. All right. And I don't think we have to roll disguise for Croctog because she's going to be a bug.
Yeah, she's cruising around in bug form.
She's
Okay.
really enjoying that bug life.
Yeah, it's a bug's life. You guys watch for the first day and start to work out some of the kinks in your plan. Like at this time of day, a bunch of workers come down this path, so don't be there or you'll get bumped into and noticed. You figure out the rooftops that have the least outward visibility. Croctaw kind of scouts the whole area from the air. You do notice that the Red Reaver is on one of the biggest city blocks, and it is adjacent to the Street of Lights, the busiest street in town. So you definitely don't want to be on the east side of it, or you will regularly be looked at by guards, Black Sovereign warriors, etc. You're much more likely to be spotted. So you guys probably positioned somewhere on the west side, keeping an eye on it. And you do, after probably over 24 hours of watching it, you do eventually see a group of half a dozen large armed men come in the night, and they go into the Red Reaver like a lot of people do at night, but suspiciously a couple minutes later you think you see them come out of the entrance of the Red Reaver. They immediately hang a right, your left, their right, and go into the alleyway behind the Red Reaver where they disappear for a good 30 minutes, and then they come back out and wander off into the night. to the east.
All right. After they're gone for like 10 minutes, that's
Yeah.
when the communicator comes out and keeping the volume low. I think I found the area where they're going down in. I'm going to go down to investigate.
Okay.
So yeah,
Let's see.
that back alley they went down.
Yeah. It was, let's see. I gotta get Nomcat that other two. You're up in the bar, aren't you? You and Luna both are. Okay. Those guys, you were across the street. The rest of the party is not actually here. Ulbrin, Tokala, Ulfred are not on scene. Well, Ulbrin is across the street watching.
Yes.
Actually, Ulbrin, roll me a perception check. You got wicked long-range dark vision.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
Damn.
Holy shit. 35. I was going to say you lost him over here, but Ulbrin says, I saw them messing with this, what looks like an external storage shed to the Red Reaver. They were fussing with something right around here.
All right.
I messaged that to Nomcath.
Yep.
Got it. Basically, actually, I'll get here and creep around the side, make sure nobody's down there. I mean, is it completely dark back here?
It is pretty dark back there, yeah. You're in the
Okay.
shadows of the buildings.
It's
And
completely dark.
there's such constant smoky fog in this city that it gets very dark at night. Takala, welcome back. We just had you in the corner whispering the words to let the bodies hit the floor for all this time.
Where was I? Swear I had one more. Move. Yep. Got it. So I'll use one of those.
Okay. Yeah, I bet he is.
What?
I'm trying to find you something to
Takala
kill.
said he's getting a little stir crazy.
I'm trying to find you something to kill. All right, so yeah, I would use that potion of dark vision so that I don't have any lights to give myself away. And then, like I said, check the side, make sure there's nobody in the area before I actually cross over to.
Okay. Roll me
in front
stealth
of-
and then perception.
Stealth. Ooh,
Very
low
good.
roll for me. And deception. Much better roll.
Okay. You look all over this thing, and it is super well hidden. This is like DC 32 hidden secret door, but you find a pull latch at the very bottom of what looks like a solid wall of metal of this metal shed. It looks like the door is on the west side, and in fact, you're on the east side of it, and you think if you pull this lever, it will open or activate something.
Don't want to do anything because
Now go ahead and do it now.
it might trigger a notification further
Nah.
down.
Nah.
So, but I will make specific note of where it is so I can find it later and stealth my way out. And then
Okay.
once I get just kind of not quite drunkenly wander out, but adjusting my pants like I went to empty my
Nice.
bladder back there. And once I get well clear of them, all right, I think I found it. We can try hitting them later tonight, or we can wait until tomorrow evening. Let's go get the rest of the group and see what they want to do.
Okay. You regroup with the full team.
All right, so I found the entrance. I didn't try going in because I didn't want to trigger anything. Should be easy enough to get in. They just had a delivery So that'll make it you don't have to wait for it. It's all a matter of, do we want to do it tonight, or do we want to wait until tomorrow?
I see no reason why not tonight.
Well, as long as you haven't burnt too many resources, then I'm okay with it. If everybody else wants to go ahead and spring the trap on them,
Yeah, I haven't had to really burn any spells, so I'm good.
just making sure. Yeah, you are our artillery.
Just point me and I'll chain lightning. You got it, pal.
Hell yeah. Mom said chain lightning. Mom said. Oh, we're putting up the big boy spells.
Because it's hour per level to start with.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, let's do this.
Okay.
Oh, by the way,
Tokala, it's time to smoke grass and kick ass.
Hell yeah.
oh, by the way, Tokala, we got you a walking around weapon, and I hand him over the Nagadashi.
It's a little, I don't know, girly. He swings it around a little bit.
It
I
is
know.
massive, actually. It is as a 2.5 hand handle, a hilt. It is a huge curved blade, and Tokala, with his weapon training, even though he's not had probably any mounted weapon training, this is a sword that you use to cut people's heads off as you're riding past on a horse. That's what it's made to do.
Gonna start calling you Tokaroth.
What?
I am Tokara.
Do we want him to make a screamy anime sound when he attacks with it? Because I have one,
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
obviously.
Yes.
Okay, let's see what I've got here. I think this is the one.
I do have a couple scrolls of mount if you want it. Just saying. Nice.
There it is.
I didn't even hear it.
It was pretty soft.
That's what Tokala thinks of this sword.
Pretty soft.
Yeah.
10 ply.
It's the curve.
It's
I mean, it's like a big elven curve blade. Kind of matches those boots.
I'm just saying, any sword that needs to be curved to cut a head off, it's a little soft. Just hit him with the blunt side. That should do it.
I mean, you with that sword in those boots. Damn.
I do make it look good.
Yes, sir. It's mostly the boots, though.
Is that an aside to everybody else?
Yeah.
He has to.
Alright.
It's the
So-
rules.
If it's dark, if this is dark enough. we
How
can,
will you get the noisy, thunky members of the party to the location?
Distractions always work.
Just like
There's always silence.
True.
everybody
But
loves
it's a little-
silent spell.
It's a little bit noticeable when suddenly in the areas nobody can hear anything, and we are walking right next to the club.
But I could do it.
But you could.
So
I don't know.
before anybody forgets, don't forget to re-equip your techie stuff.
Well, should we sneak there first and then equip outside? Question mark.
I mean, armor is kind of hard to do that.
Well, if you guys weren't such big pusses and didn't wear armor and used magic, I'm just saying.
Tactically, if you're going at night, most of the city guard and people that could spot you are human. Don't see that well in the dark. So if you pick a dark alley that's like a block away from the Red Reaver,
Yeah,
you could have privacy to put armor on there.
I mean,
I'd say that's our best bet.
I was mostly reminding the players to turn all their stuff back on.
Yeah.
So
But technically, Takala would have his chainsaw.
yeah, well, we can keep that in the bag because that's kind of hard to hide. But putting the armor on, we want to do either before we leave here or when we get close by, because that takes time.
Okay. Alfred, what buff is missing an icon for you?
I think it's Stone Skin.
Oh, Iron Skin.
Iron Skin, rather.
Yep.
Stacking those icons.
We'll just put a armor icon on it. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So the party gears up outside the Red Reaver or close to it.
I am going to cast.
Approaches
I am
that
going
side.
to have one spell casted,
Okay.
just in case.
Okay. Bullet shield. Put that on. Ulbrin, what buffs you want on?
Mage armor, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I've got those bracers, so that pretty much does my mage armor
yep.
for me. How long does shield last? Is that
Minute
minute
per
per
level.
level? Okay, I think all my buffs are minute per level, so I'll wait kind of until we get there and know what we're getting into before I start casting a bunch of crazy shit.
Okay.
I mean, unless we all want to be greased.
There's never a bad time for grease.
Do you have greater grease prepared?
Not yet.
If Takala switches deities, there's deities that would give you greater grease as a domain spell. Just saying. Gorham's not as into the grease, but there are others. Callistria, maybe?
Maybe I'll change Gorham's mind.
That is the most Takala answer. It's true. Let the bodies hit the floor.
And I will cast this as well.
Okay. The party approacheth. What's the next move?
We need to distract the guards so that Stompies can get by. Trying to think. Actually, I have an idea.
Yeah.
So I would go around and then over in this corner over here.
Wait, never mind. I don't need to cast heroism. My bad.
I assume, even though this is, because this, even though it's close to the Street of Lights, this is still considered kind of the bad part of town, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So having some garbage in the corners and all that sort of stuff is kind of normal.
Yeah, the alleys are pretty trashy.
All right. So I would have gone around a block over to this side, and then I'll gather up some of that trash, and then shielding it with my hand, using my lighter to start a small fire that'll smolder for a few minutes and then flare up and get their attention. I mean, there's a lot of wood buildings in here. They'd want to stomp out a fire before it got too big, right?
Yeah. Well, you would hope.
Yeah. If nothing else, they might go over and investigate it. So once that's done, I would stealth off to the side. Actually, like over here somewhere, and then kind of watch it from a shadow, and hopefully that'll get their attention and get them away from that, get them away from their corner for a little bit.
Well, you've watched these guards as part of your stakeout for a while. They're actually members of the Junker Gang, and you're pretty sure they're just paid to watch the doorway into the Red Reaver. They don't ever really look at the back alley at all.
But we're going to be walking right by them. Like, we're 10, 15 feet away.
Well, you guys could approach from a number of different directions, and they are humans, and they are standing in a brightly lit area. So as soon as you get kind of beyond the edge of that light, you are at 45 feet from a human in the dark, and you're in the shadows while he stands in the light. So
okay,
his ability to perceive you beyond that darkness bubble would be purely based on sound. You're thinking the only thing that probably makes them even look that direction is the sound of Ulfred's plate and took all his heavy armor. And even then, do they come off the door for people walking around in the dark nearby? Maybe not. Their job is to watch the door.
And this is V's in this area sometimes because they wear armor.
No, Junkers.
Yeah, Junkers wear heavy armor too.
Oh, okay.
Lots of people wear heavy armor in this part of Killbox.
So it's
Even
not super
survive.
unknown. Okay.
Well, no, he said that they were covered in spikes and
Yeah.
sharpened bits, so that sounds like Junker stuff to me rather than,
Yep.
Gotcha.
paramilitary.
You can guess
I would
the
s-
Junkers are brawlers.
I would still kind of come over to this side to be ready to cause a distraction then if the others can't sneak past. Or they get too much attention. So I will stay over here for now and let everybody else stealth by, and then I'll make my way across.
Tokala says he's very sneaky.
I'm ready. I cast Cat's Grace, so yeah, I'm pretty great.
The +2.
Total of 16 for Tokala. Let's see the other stealth checks from folks in the party. I'm going to put Croctaw on flying Overwatch for this mission.
Jesus, Luna
Luna, natural 1.
with a +2.
Total of 3. Clank, clank, clank.
Goes the trolley.
Yep, that was pretty bad.
The cat's just hand over his eyes, shaking his head as he can hear him all the way across the block. So, do the guards look like they're going to investigate?
Luna, and you can tell that somebody in your group has fucked up. You think somebody maybe even tripped and fell and kicked up a big cloud of dust, said a curse word off in the dark or something. The guards both turn their heads and step over here to look, and maybe 2 or 3 seconds later, you see a smallish woman, and even in the silhouetting of the front door, you can see her glowing red eyes. She steps up and bangs on the shoulder plate of one of them, and then says something to the other one, and she points at something inside the front lobby, and they all 3 go inside.
I owe that woman a drink.
Saved by the bell.
All right, so I will.
And as they go in, and she is clearly pointing at them to pick up and move something,
Yeah.
you see that red eye look out in the dark directly at you, Nomcath, and then
As
you
I'm
see
going
it.
by, yep.
You see it disappear and reappear like she winked at you in the dark.
He gives a little nod, acknowledging the help. You know, there's a little pause in his movement, a little nod, and then continues on.
I think she's into you.
Humans are so furless. There's that smooth skin's just weird.
Don't you like those hairless cats, though? Just pretend she's one of those. Not that
Oh,
kind
those
of
look
G.
like my grandmother. I don't care if
Whoa,
they're 18.
whoa,
They look like my
whoa.
grandmother.
You made it weird.
Wow.
That's my point. They look weird.
That took a hell of a turn.
Ugh.
All that wrinkly skin.
Phew.
Now I'm imagining Nomcast's grandma, like
Oh, no.
you know, the cat person, but like
Oh.
No.
All
Okay,
right.
so you guys are approaching the wrinkly old grandma. What do you do?
All right. Since we apparently have made it here without too much problems, as he
Total
just kinda-
skillful stealth assault.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Here, Takala. Here's your chainsword.
Olbrin, what buffs do you wish to cast before you go in?
How
probably be the time.
long is false life? Is that hour or a minute? I can't
It's
remember.
probably a minute. Let us
False
see.
life is hour, I think.
Oh shit, it is. Quite long. Hour per level.
Quite long.
I guess I will also cast this now.
Okay.
Everyone's getting protection from fire too.
Oh, good idea.
What did you get? False life. You got 19. You got a lot of hit points. Okay. You threw what? Pro fire?
Yeah.
Okay. Olbrin, anything else you want to cast?
Numcath, do you want to wait for invis stuff, or do you want it now? I can give you regular invis, and then get you greater later. What do you want?
Let's start with regular invis.
Takala's with the party, right? I'm going to move him up.
Yeah, I was just looking to make
Okay.
sure I had all my tech stuff equipped.
Oh my god, so much buffs.
Give you that too, Numcath.
Useful, thank you.
So I am allowed to use my chainsaw.
Well, we're gonna be underground, so I
Hell
assume
yeah.
so.
And I'll go invis too, Toby.
Okay.
Do you want to wait for haste? Yeah, we'll wait for haste until we get some shit.
Yeah, let's wait on the haste because that goes out so fast.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, cool. There's that here now. Interesting. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so do we know if this is trapped? Do you want to check for traps? I can detect magic on it, see if I find anything. Numcath, what do you think?
Detecting magic isn't a bad thing. I didn't notice any traps with that roll that I made before, right?
Nope. No traps. Totally safe.
I think it's. I don't think it's trapped. I mean, honestly, can you imagine a bunch of barbarians trying to negotiate a trap?
What the fuck is that?
It radiates magic.
Okay, there's
Pretty
some magic
strongly.
shit going on.
Yeah.
What kind?
Can I tell what kind?
Several different types.
What is that?
Roll me a spellcraft check.
What the fuck is that?
Olbrin, you scan it for a good 20 seconds, and you think that magic was used to
What is
build
that?
it, shape it, strengthen it.
What the fuck is that?
You're just really going for it, huh?
Yeah, I'm studying it.
Oh, and you also think that there could be an alarm spell on it.
That's what I was wondering.
You could dispel that.
Spell in the lore. If I dispel it, will the caster know it's been dispelled?
No.
Do I have a macrophoto spell? Surely I do. Is it DSP?
It might just be DM. Yeah, dispel magic. Okay, and then do a CLC, caster level check for me.
Oh, that was him casting detect magic again.
Oh, it spent 2 of them, didn't it?
He's done 4 of them.
For what?
Detect oh, yeah,
Detect
DM is
magic.
detect magic. What is your dispel
Oh.
magic? I'm trying to figure out what your macro is. Guys. Maybe we didn't make one.
That's a
Well,
real new spell for him, isn't it?
no, I've had it for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've had it since we stomped the brain people.
Well, again, that makes it a fairly new. We haven't done much combat after that.
I guess so. I'm going to throw it on here and make a macro. And we'll just make it to keep it simple and differentiate from dispel magic. Just dispel. D-I-S-P-E-L.
Dispel and that spell.
Yep. And those spells. Spell pen check. Actually, yeah, I have it programmed into the macro.
Oh, you have the
Perfect.
caster level done? Okay.
Yep.
Why
You can
is it
spell
saying
any-
-11? Why is it saying -11?
That's just to make the formula work out right to save me time. And in this case, you believe you got it because the alarm spell is only a level 1 spell.
Yep. All right, now, Kath, I think I got
You
it.
pulled it off of there.
All right. Here we go. And I will.
Is
Pull
that the reaver that we're hearing the music from still?
Uh huh.
Nice.
Right next to it.
I like it. Immersion complete.
Okay. You gonna open the door?
Yep.
Oh,
You pull the
Toby,
lever and the door
Nomcath and
slides
myself
open.
are in Fizz, just in case.
Yep, I've got you in biz.
Okay, okay.
And then let's guys into here and pull you into this map. You see a staircase going down, dimly lit. You see a chair at the bottom of it that is empty, and you see a locked door on the left, right, and double doors locked ahead to the east. You hear a sort of rumbling sound, and the air down here is much cleaner than the air 10 feet behind you up the tunnel, and yet it smells like cleaning chemicals. Like it smells like chlorine, maybe some other thing, and then just the slightest whiff of maybe blood.
Is there a particular direction this rumbling is coming from?
All around you, you feel like you're surrounded by machinery.
All right. Should go ahead and go straight forward. We can always, once we neutralize this place, then we can give it a full sweep. I will. You said these two doors are locked.
They look
up
at
here.
Yeah, they are currently locked with just mechanical locks.
Quick perception, look for any traps.
You don't see it.
Ulfred's detect magic should still be up. Does he detect magic on him?
No. They detect very minor magic. Magic was used in their construction.
Disable device.
Shit. I'm not sure what I just rolled, Toby. I'm sorry.
Detect magic again.
Okay.
I rolled it.
That was Ulfred.
Oh, sorry.
I was trying to see if it was the song was on mine too.
Yeah, what you did is, Josh, it's okay. You didn't do anything. You just teleported Tokala out to sea.
Hell yeah. He
Hell
loves
yeah.
the ocean. He loves water. We discovered that in the river.
Does he?
Teleported me out to sea. I mean, am I about to go and start skull and shackles without you guys?
Hell yeah.
Toby replaces one of the pirate lords with Tokala when we come
Don't
in
think I
flank.
won't. Don't think I won't do that. I would. Actually,
Wait, we are.
I know what would really get you guys is one of the pirate captains is Krokta, the pirate druid.
Hell yeah.
Good luck with that.
All right, so I rolled a 32 on my disable device check to unlock this lower door.
You unlock it. And as you open the door, let's see if anybody immediately perceives. That's pretty obvious. But you see a huge warehouse. That door, as you just lightly open it, give me a stealth check, actually, Nomkath, since it was you that opened the door.
And I am invis, so. That was a horrible roll. Even invisible, did that imply the invisible?
Yes.
Doesn't look like it, no.
No, it didn't.
A nice 46. Well,
You guys
66.
are looking through a doorway into a room 55 feet from this wall to the other wall. You can see row upon row of tables, racks, and shelves covered in various chemicals, beakers, vials, different colored substances and jars, some things glowing. You feel sort of a blast of heat, warm, humid air hits you in the face. You haven't felt humid air in your face since you left the Scar of the Spider. And you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 large men who are armed and look like they are Black Sovereign guards who look like they are just moving things around the room. And one of them turns and sees the door cracked open and kind of cocks his head funny as he doesn't see anyone through the crack in it. And at the far end of the room is Nomkath. You can see this only as you're the one peeking through this bit. I mean, you think Eldrin until he turns around. It's a tall, thin elf. You see pointy ears. You see a strange purple metallic armor that he's wearing. And then he turns around and you realize that Eldrin was a beautiful creature with porcelain skin and delicate features. This guy looks like his skin is made of lumpy oatmeal, like he's been badly burned by
Ugh.
fire, and he's missing eyebrows, and his mouth is sort of in a permanent snarl. His eyes still looks elven, but look sort of crazed and intense because he's had his flesh melted in so many places. He looks like he has been very severely injured or mutilated himself. It's more complete even than a Smiler, though. He's fairly terrifying.
Ugh.
He is fiddling with a variety of delicate instruments over there. And we are right about quitting time. I feel like we're moments from an initiative roll. I'm sorry Tokala didn't get to chop anything this session, but I think
He'll get to do
next
plenty
time-
next week.
Next time would be a good. Next time we'll just start with the initiative check. They are aware that the door is open, which, according to their security system, will upset them. So you can expect them to react and check the door next time.
Well, that's actually what I was going to do. Is if one of them is just coming over curious-wise, I would have actually waved everyone back a little bit and done a nice invisible surprise sneak attack when they open the
Well,
door.
if you play your cards exactly right, you could still have a surprise round. I'll tell
Yep.
you that. So we'll do that next time.
Okay.
Okay, good session. I know it's slow going with all the subterfuge, but you guys made a ton of progress, and you've unlocked some new allies, and it's going to go quicker from here on out.
Look nasty.
It's gonna be a bloodbath, boys.
Oh, yeah, definitely gonna be a bloodbath.
Nothing wrong with me.